Her body felt unbearable hot, and her face was covered with heavy makeup. She was wearing a plunging V neckline gown. The time on the clock was exactly 7:48 in the evening. This was all too familiar, and Emily shuddered at the memory. She revived from her death and found herself back in her 18-year-old body. This night was her engagement to Hunter Jackson. In her previous life, it was at this engagement party that she was drugged. When Hunter's subordinates came to look for her, she was entangled with 2 male makeup artists. This was stopped by Hunter's subordinates, and they did their best to protect her dignity. Unfortunately, it finally became the talk of the town and blemished her fame. Despite this, Hunter still fulfilled his grandmother's wishes and married her. But from that point on, he never trusted her again. Now, there are only 2 minutes left before the beginning of the greatest tragedy in her life. Emily pinched her hands and tried to wake herself from the effects of the drug that she had been given. She struggled to the door. Before she could open the door, she could hear a voice saying, "You must get this right. You must say that the bitch seduced you both."
"We know, Miss Gale. Rest assured, no one will know you're involved."
A strange man's voice replied. Wendy Gale's voice softly replied, "When this is done, I'll transfer the balance to you, or you will pay for consequences."
"We won't fail. Miss Gale, you just sit back and enjoy the show."
Emily pinched her hands even harder. She had never suspected Wendy before. Never thought that it was Wendy who had set her up from the start. Her body was getting hotter and hotter, and Emily started to panic. Oh no! If they entered when she was in such condition, she wouldn't be able to resist them. Then after they had taken advantage of her, they could still claim that it was she who initiated it. She can't remain here. She must escape. The dressing room was linked to an adjoining restroom. Emily took an eyebrow trimmer as a weapon and stumbled towards the door to the restroom. Just as she closed the door to the restroom, the outer door opened and the 2 male makeup artists entered the room.
"Where is she? Check out the restroom."
As fast as she could, Emily got out of the restroom and into the corridor. She continued to stumble along towards the lift. As she entered the lift, she heard the voice of a male makeup artist in the corridor. The male makeup artist's voices.
"Oh no! The woman has escaped. We can't let her escape."
The engagement event was being held at a hotel, and now the grand ballroom was already filled with guests. Emily was drugged. She didn't know what she'll do under the influence of the drugs. With a little conscience, she took the lift down to the parking garage in the basement. Anyway, she must leave this place tonight. Just a short distance away, she saw a car door open. Clenching her teeth, she headed into the car. With the eyebrow trimmer in hand, she pressed it against the occupant's neck and demanded, "Drive! Drive away from here now!" The dashingly handsome man frowned and looked down at the girl who pressed a blade against his neck with cold eyes. Emily felt a chill come over her. She thought, this man was so chilling. 2 men dashed out from the lift and were obviously looking for her. Emily couldn't be bothered to look at the men, shut the door with a thump. She continued to press the blade on his neck and said, "Tell your driver to go!"
"Sir?"
The driver said in shock, looking at his boss. Emily finally realized who the man she was threatening was. In her panic, she accidentally cut down on his neck and drew a trace of blood. Good Lord! Just her luck! She had randomly chosen this car, and the owner happened to be the man who she was to be engaged to. The man who had broken her heart in her previous life. The man who she had sworn never to love again. Hunter Jackson.